It's time for week 2 of the weekly roundup, where I respond to some of your tweets that caught my eye or I thought were particularly interesting or particularly relevant this week. So the first comes from Ian Greenfield. He says, "I'm very glad to see that you have your own channel. Don't push yourself too hard though, man. You seem pretty fatigued in this video," referring to one of the videos from week 2. You are right. I was very fatigued during that video. And I appreciate you watching out for me and hoping that I'm not overdoing things. There's totally the possibility that I will do that in the future. And look, if I take a week off, that's probably why, because I needed a couple days, a real weekend to relax after the week. But I'm not just doing this to push myself or because I think that my opinion is so important that I need to get it out there. I do really believe in the value of practice, and I think that you need to get out there on a regular basis to do that. And also, look, I can be very tired when I do this, especially on the weekends. Like I was up late last night catching up on The Office so I could watch the finale. But this isn't just work to me. This is also my hobby. This is one of my favorite things to do, like getting in here and making the graphics that you see, and editing the videos and doing the producing and all that. Like for some people that would really be work, and I feel kind of bad for those people, that that's their job, but that they don't enjoy it. But I really do. And so thank you for the support and thank you for the concern, but at least for this week, I think I'll be okay. The next tweet was from Ryan Sullivan. Says, "John, I know you play League of Legends. Have you ever played or considered playing Dota? It's free and you can play bots." As I responded to him on Twitter, yes, I do play League. I have also played Dota. Way back in the day, like maybe 8 years ago, I played a little bit of Dota, and I had to stop at the time because the racism and homophobia on there, even as a gamer, was too much for me. And people took the game so seriously. If you've played these games, these MOBAs, you know how it is. I couldn't deal with it. I do play a lot of League of Legends, actually. It's one of the games I play most regularly. I also have access to Dota 2's beta. It might actually be publicly released now. I'm not actually sure. And I've played a few games, both against bots and against people. It's totally fun. But in terms of my friends already playing League, it's hard for me to play another game that's so similar. They're just not going to transfer over at this point. And final point on this, I totally do intend in the future to have some sort of community game, probably in League of Legends, but it's just so hard to set up because when I have free time, I don't often have hours to like tweet it out and get the text set up. So I want to do that long term at some point. Christian Marasico said, this is in reference to me doing the solo hosting on Wednesday. "You gotta throw in some Cenk jokes. Man, there was no schwang wang wang moment." I think it's so ironic that you say that because I get criticism all the time when I do the main show that I'm trying to be Cenk or I'm trying to act like Cenk. I think it's accurate to some extent in that I don't watch a lot of the mainstream cable news, telepromptered, scripted shows. I've been watching The Young Turks for like 6 or 7 years at this point. And so to the extent that I'm going to be like anybody, I'm probably naturally going to be like Cenk. But in terms of throwing in the jokes, it does happen naturally from time to time, but I'm not looking to make even more of those forced comparisons between us two. And so I'll probably keep the schwang wang wangs holed up inside for now. Final point, and this is referring to Friday's show where I was co-hosting with Michael Shore and RJ Eskow. Samir Perez says, "Should Dems hit reps immoralities more often during elections, e.g. Colbert versus Sanford?" Referring to that recent congressional race. I totally think they should. I like to harp occasionally on the psychological differences between liberals and conservatives, between Democrats and Republicans, and there's tons of them. And the way that they run their elections is one of the most common. Like, Democrats just don't have the spine to get aggressive and to attack in the same way that Republicans do. There are some exceptions. Grayson is a very good exception. Obviously, Cenk would not have that problem if he was running for office, but it's pretty common. I think that it's unfortunate, like, especially when they're the ones being hypocritical. Like, the things that the Republicans get up to in terms of like the homosexual relationships on the side, we don't have a problem with that on the liberal side at all. But when you run your elections on family values and say that you believe one thing, but then are acting another way in private, I think that then it becomes fertile for attacks, and I think that it's perfectly appropriate. So anyway, that's the weekly roundup for this week. If you have any thoughts, any suggestions, feel free to tweet them at me, and maybe you'll show up on the next weekly roundup.